y'all, Scott here.
God, I love it when he says that. Scott the Woz. Who hasn't heard about him? I mean, he's the guy who talks about stupid Nintendo games for a living. He's the guy that doesn't give a crap about Chibi Robo Ziplash. He's the Gex guy. Oh wait, that's another Scott the Woz character? Oh. One thing you must know about me is that I love Scott the Woz. Whereas the beautifulness of every Rex Mose line,
What you
the greatness as Scott the Woz out of context,
Nintendo.
or the Gexness as Jeb Jab, aka the Gex guy.
What are you, a doorway pirate?
No, I'm Gex.
I thought he was depressed.
Scott started his YouTube career on July 21st, 2016 with The Internet and You, and then everything changed. The first real Scott the Woz episode was on July 7th, 2017 with the Nintendo Switch wish list. And watching back on this episode,
Don't get me wrong, I like the Wii U. It was quirky and fun.
I wish this never happened. And here we are today with the most recent episode as this video is being recorded. Season 7, Episode 2, The Childhood Game Collection on August 3rd, 2023. However, there is one episode that standed out above all the other episodes. One episode that is so ridiculously funny, it is one of the longest Scott the Woz episodes ever. And I am, of course, talking about Season 5, Episode 5, also known as Episode 200, Borderline Forever. For his 200th episode, Scott wanted to make a movie-length episode about the blue border that surrounds him in all of his videos. You see, an action musical featuring Scott will eventually look at the first Mega Man Wozniak working title sounds like a match made in heaven. And not only did this episode get a higher score on IBMD than Avengers Endgame, but then Characters just decanonizes the whole thing for a 10-second joke.
Too late! No! Don't do it! Oh god, now everybody knows!
You make your videos on Crash's pants, don't you?
Yes, I do.
On his junk.
Yes, fine, now just take this and leave me alone!
Thanks, Scott. And it's Crash Purple on the Game Boy Advance.
So let's actually start to talk about this movie and see if it's a movie. The movie opens up with an opening that I swear could be in Metal Gear freaking Solid. We then see a couple of references, like It's Awesome Baby, a game guide of Man 08, Sonic Jam, and the Dark Age of Nintendo games. And then,
Hey y'all, Scott here. Are you about 3 large footsteps away from the grave?
great way to start off a Scott the Woz movie. This is basically a 4-minute long intro about how to talk about video games with a bunch of YouTuber cameos. Like Ant Dude, Cat Icarus, Peanut Butter Gamer, Arlo, Schlatt, Dashy, Nathaniel Bandy, even the Angry Video Game Nerd. And here are my favorite quotes from this opening.
Look at this. This is your life now. Why be a video game player when you can make silly comments about them? It's the same sentiment I have towards the working class. So, put the controller down and repeat after me. This game is f***ing bullshit!
Game bullshit.
I call this the Thanksgiving dinner approach. Who made this? And what is this game? So on to the next one, which is the one after that one. And the next one is this. It's the one swearing.
Yes!
And if you aren't willing to say f*** uncensored, get the f*** out of here. Funny moments. You gotta be funny, especially if you're not funny. Can you tell the controller's not even plugged in? The alphabet's not copyrighted, f***o.
I own more Wii U games than you. Wow, it's like fake.
The movie actually starts and we get one of the best lines.
Morning.
Correct. So this leads us on to our first song. Yes, as I said earlier, this is a musical. And this first song, Stupid Nintendo Games, I know off by heart. Over 15,000 games to try to discuss in later shells. The consistency alphabetically in player's choice can go to hell. The size and shape of disc and cards for an hour, so I'll talk. I swipe right on them until my bones are stems, cause every day's Fat Tuesday in my eyes. This world doesn't give my passion. They all think we play motions of sin. but it's their loss today. Got no spare time to waste. This is something I know we should all embrace. I'm on a quest to address all the requests. Please understand this kind of stuff is genetic cachet. I've been blessed, no time to rest. I got a lot to undress. You don't need sixes, it's better anyways. It's stupid Nintendo games. It may be hard to find a place to start, so might I suggest? Not that. Might I suggest, guys, to start things out and moving on to pack and roll. Lost in Blue and Tetris 2, or whatever's left at Coles. Mega Man Cell plus Clubhouse games make a better pair to taste. If you say Mano 9 and Sin, get the frick out of my face. Just tell me that you understand.
As a vegan, this fits my diet plan.
They make for great target practice.
As long as I'm not having sex.
You didn't tell me all these was fucking gex.
I shouldn't dwell, I got no sex to sell. Take them all and just dispute them in your spread and we play. It's a swell, these extra copies, extra banned from hell. I got a Blink Smash to play every single day. Stupid Nintendo games. I must confess, I might be slightly obsessed. How could you not be? How you see me? I got no shame to play. If you're down and feeling blue and my crossing around you, there's a solution for loud pollution to ruin your brain. Stupid Nintendo games.
Who wants to compare pens?
Yes, I spent about 2 minutes singing that song, prove it, because I got nothing else to put in this video. So the first third of this movie is just Scott talking about Nintendo games. I'm not joking, look it up. So we'll just skip to when the plot actually happens. After ranting about the blue boar that appears in 3D World's co-op, Scott then realizes the blue boar that surrounds him, which then leads to this iconic line.
Go away! I hate shapes!
Scott then looks through a scrapbook of all of his old videos, which probably has a bunch of references, but I'm not gonna talk about every references video, because we'd be here for 5 hours. So Scott calls the only person he can.
It's me.
I know a lot of me.
Cut to Think Barrel, which fries in his lazy night, and we actually have a new character, Geriatrix, aka the therapist, which he delivers one of the funniest lines in this movie.
I don't have a PhD. They forgot the U.
You have FUD?
I have FUD.
One therapy scene later, and we cut to the Mushroom Gorge, aka Scott's bedroom, with Scott that gets bonked on the head with a frying pan.
That looks fine. Hey, Jerry!
1 sec, I'm making sure I don't get confused here.
Wait, how is Jerry actually talking to Scott when Scott is in his head?
Maybe you need to relax. How about a nice pillow to the face?
That's killing me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe a gun to your head will take your mind off things.
He just wants to kill Scott, and I find that very funny. One green screen death later, and one Jerry trying to kill Scott again later. And we have our second song, and my personal favorite of this, Closing In, which the lyrics kind of make sense. The lines, it starts off the same like every week, is referencing the "Hey all, Scott here" from the beginning of every episode. And the lines, and ends with the game on PS3, is referencing the song Breakout that he uses for his outro, which nowadays he uses a brand new song called Break In. Which, sorry to get misleading right now, but he first uses Break In the Donkey Kong Barrel Blast episode. I just find that cool, which they use Breakout to cut to Break In, which I find that very funny. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Anyways, Closing In is a really good song. I would sing it to prove to you that I know it by heart, but I don't want to take this 5 hours to get. So let's just cut to the end of the song.
On the blind, it's closing in on.
I gotta remember this for next time.
After this, we're introduced to the rest of the gang, Rex Mose, Jeb, Terry Lessler, and Target employee. Scott tries to tell him about the blue boar, and of course they don't believe him. Just want to take a minute to tell you guys one small detail, that Jeb doesn't want to be a vegan anymore, but doesn't want to tell Terry. So when Scott asks Jeb what he wants to do that doesn't include being a vegan...
I have dreams, you know?
Like what?
I like Gex.
You mean this?
No, the lizard.
Such a classic Gex move. Anyways, they all start to leave, and then...
Does anybody else see?
Squares can be blue!
Where are the signs? Centimeters being obstructed! Centimeters!
I'm boned. I'm not.
So now they all see the blue border, which Scott then delivers another great line.
So, welcome to being
So that's what it feels like.
This leads us on to Jeb asking Terry a question.
Terry, what do you think about lizards?
Yeah, they're great for looking, not for eating.
No, like as a hobby.
What do you need hobbies for? You're a vegan, not a man.
Anyways, it's time to tell the world about the blue border. So Scott and Rex go on a TV show where everyone else hands out flyers.
We're not crazy, you're just We're not crazy, you're just We're not crazy, you're just
I think this scene can be perfectly explained by one of the bloopers.
You don't know if you have a throne?
I forget.
You don't know if you have a throne?
You're not coming to my birthday party? Oh yeah, I should probably explain. On Scott's second channel, he posts all bloopers for all the episodes, with Borderline Forever being one of them. It's a really good watch, considering the bloopers are really funny. Which I found another funny blooper for this very next scene.
Hey, I call you
Walks in here like he owns the place.
May I call you Mr. I'm gonna name a cat that.
Mr. Call him Mr.
Mr. What are you doing?
Mr. Get out of there! Aw, Mr. made a stinky in the litter box. Uh-oh, stinky.
Mr. Stinky.
Mr. Stinky.
Stinky, Mr.
Stinky, Mr.
Anyways, back to the actual movie, where they mess up so Rex delivers another famous line.
There's a big blue border that's gonna eat you.
And followed up by another great line.
Oh my god. My aunt just died.
On my birthday?
We then get a new segment with, hey, a cameo from Connor Eats Pants. They then notice that they never noticed the blue border before until Scott brung it up, so Scott screwed up. This then leads on to his second best line in the whole movie.
Let's go to a reporter on the field.
I'm in a field. See, that's why I don't trust the news anymore. That's a yard.
The way he says, I'm in a field, is just so funny, which is then brought by Target employee saying, that's a yard. More YouTuber cameos later.
Oh my god, you know what this means? Not Michigan!
And Scott realizes that they have to go to space to stop the blue border. Wait, what? This then leads on to Scott having an inspirational speech about something.
Come on, we gotta try. Target employee, if the blue border takes over, there won't be a Wendy's to get fired from if there's no world left.
There will always be a Denny's, though.
Terry, there won't be no cheese to eat if this continues. Jerry, there won't be me wasting money on your services. Rex, there won't be no sex to be had. Jeb, no everything except for Gex because anything but Gex is Gex. That includes shallots. If we're the only ones who can do this, we have to take this blue border out ourselves. We're the only one who can do this. Everybody else is busy. We've got nothing else to do today!
This then leads on to our third song, Might As Well. And it's quite a good song. It's a really good inspirational song. And I do like how they have this joke of throwing a picture of blue border into a toilet with Chibi Robo Ziplash. Anyways, they finish the spaceship now Wii games and it's time to go to space.
God, that's a lot of f***ing space.
They then get shot by something, and then that leaves a hole in the spaceship.
Listen, if we die, please tell me. Was it hey y'all or hey all?
So what Terry is trying to ask is if he's saying hey y'all Scott here or hey all Scott here in the beginning of his videos. Which I can confirm it's hey all instead of hey y'all because the two videos that I'm not sure of the title of right now. Where in one video someone says hey Scott all here, and in another video Scott says all here hey Scott. Target employee actually saves the day by throwing a Whopper out of the hole.
Please up more.
Time to introduce the main villain.
No. It can't be. My mortal enemy. Cover athlete of Madden 09. Brett!
And guess what? This is actually Brett Favre himself. One space chase later, and it's time to fight the Green Bay Packers, which this part has downright the best line in the entire movie.
Is that a gun?
No. It's Gex.
So that line is actually a reference to the trial episode, more specifically this scene.
Allow me to ask the others to name that specific object. What is this?
Gex?
One fight against the Green Bay Packers later, and Brett Favre gets shot down. By who? Why, Vince Young, of course. And once again, it's actually Vince Young himself, though he's outside and supposed to be in a spaceship. Now it's time to enter the spaceship at the Blue Border. The gang minus Scott actually gets tricked by printer ink for some reason, and Scott has a talk with the Blue Border itself, which I find this scene very funny. More specifically, this set of lines.
Dare acknowledge my existence? Threaten to remove me from your life?
It kept me busy.
I mean, it's very simple to recreate the Blue Border's voice.
So Scott decides to be it the only way he can.
I am all powerful. I am eternal life.
The opposite of eternal life is virginity!
It's weakening it.
I've been holding this one in for years. Madden 08 in Espanol for PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360!
So Scott realizes that the border needs a host, or else it will grow bigger and bigger and this will happen again. So he volunteers.
I'll do it.
That goes against everything we've just done!
I mean, Jerry is right. That means that this whole movie is completely obsolete. So they all fall down back to Earth, and Jeb finally tells Terry that he can't be a vegan anymore.
Terry, I'm sorry. I don't think I can be a vegan anymore. I like Gex.
Well, you can't change who you are, but we could always use a volunteer vegan on the weekends.
Oh boy, now people know what I'm not.
And he's okay with it? And to celebrate, we get one final song.
I don't give a piss.
We saved the world from a blue border quirl. I just have to live with it for the whole rest of my days. It's a lot, but you've been taught this thing is worse than you thought. But there's one small thing that makes it all okay. Stupid
And that was Borderline Forever. We get a cool credit scene, which is a lot of references to a lot of old videos, which makes me think, how come we haven't gotten Scott the Woz animated series yet? I mean, yes, we did get the Scott the Woz show on G4, but still, Scott has the jokes for an animated show, it just needs an animator for an animated series. But still, I love this movie. I don't know if you guys love this movie, but I definitely think that this is the best Scott the Woz episode yet. And yes, Scott the Woz is still going on to this very day. I do feel like this episode / movie is a real love letter to all Scott the Woz fans. And I do have to thank Garrett Williamson and Hyper Potions for making the OST for this movie. I definitely recommend checking out the album for this movie. I can't believe that the guy who used to make FNAF Not Scary worked on this OST. But at the end of the day, like I said, I love this movie. It's nice to go back at this and just have a few laughs at all the old stuff. And by old, I mean this is 2 years old. So I hope you enjoyed me ranting about Scott the Woz Borderline Forever for about 20 minutes. I really didn't expect this video to be this long, considering the best I could do probably is like 5 minutes long. But I hope you enjoyed, and hey, maybe I'll do some more movie reviews in the future.